everyone, I'm Jen. Welcome back. So we today are going to do a couple of sun A's to warm up, but we're really going to focus on the sun B. So there's sun salutation A and then there's sun salutation B. B just adds a couple more elements into that flow. So we're going to go through that, and I'm going to show you the modifications, and I'll also show you a couple of ways where you can spice it up a little bit. So we'll start with a little breath work and we'll center, and then we will get right into it. So coming to that comfortable seated pose again, maybe you're in easy pose with the knees crossed. Sometimes it's nice to put that non-dominant leg in front. So just an option here for that. You can also come seated on your shins. Sometimes this is nice to just change it up a little bit. So bringing the hands to heart center or relaxing the palms on the thighs. And just starting to inhale and exhale through the nose, just starting to go inward, starting to focus on your breath, trying really, really hard to tone out or tune out all of those things that are pulling at your attention constantly. Maybe external sounds, maybe your to-do list, whatever it is, just try to focus on your breath. And even if that's only for 2 or 3 inhales and exhales, that's okay. Just be kind to yourself. A couple more rounds of breath here, inhaling and exhaling through the nose. Next, inhale, sweep your arms out and up. As you exhale, hands come back to heart center. Maybe roll your shoulders. Inhale, sweep your arms. Exhale, hands to heart center. Maybe taking a moment to set an intention for this practice, for your day, for the next hour. And going ahead and letting that go. Coming over to tabletop, hands and knees, curling your toes, moving through your cat and cow a few times. Inhaling, gaze and tail lift toward the ceiling. Exhale, tug the chin, round the spine. So a couple more rounds following your breath here. If your knees are a little sensitive and you prefer not to be in a hands and knees or tabletop pose, you can do your cat and cow from a seated position, either seated on your shins or on your sit bones. The fingertips come outside your ears, so just a light touch, kind of like you were gonna do a crunch. Just a light touch here, and then you'll inhale, squeeze the shoulder blades together, open the chest. And as you exhale, start to round your spine, bringing your elbows toward each other. So you're gonna round your spine, tuck your chin, and bring those elbows, squeeze the elbows together. So this is a seated version of your cat and cow. Inhale and exhale. So a couple more rounds, either in seated or tabletop with your cat and cow. And then we'll come back over. Remembering that tabletop, this hands and knees pose, is your modification for down dog. As we move through what we call our vinyasa, which is forward to a plank and then a back bend, you can be right here in your tabletop. You can inhale for your cow pose and exhale for your cat pose. So just listening to your body. So we'll start with the modified option for Sun A, and then we'll move up from there. So modified Sun A, we're gonna be in our tabletop. We're gonna inhale for our cow pose. Exhale for our cat pose. And then we're just gonna step the feet together at the front of the mat. For your forward fold, you can keep your knees bent here. Inhale for your half lift, lengthening your spine, pressing your fingertips or your palms into your shins or your thighs, just avoiding your knee. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep your arms all the way out and up. As you exhale, bring your hands to heart center, roll your shoulders, coming back to that intention, grounding in through your feet. Inhale, sweep your arms. Exhale, fold over your legs. Inhale for your half lift. Exhale, plant your palms, step your feet back, and go ahead and come down to hands and knees so you're in your tabletop. Inhale for your cow. Exhale for your cat. And then coming back to tabletop. If you'd like to bump it up a little bit, curl your toes. Hips go up and back for down dog. Walk your dog, pedal your feet, take your hips side to side, whatever feels good here. And then you want to find a few breaths of stillness. So press into your palms. Relax your head toward the mat. Rotate your elbows, so the front part of your arms right here. Rotate those toward the front of the mat. And take a couple breaths in stillness. Next inhale, you're going to shift your weight forward to that plank pose. So we'll do it on a modified version to start. We'll drop our knees, so we're in a modified plank. Remembering this is a little different than your tabletop because your knees are further back from your hips. And then shift your shoulders forward of your wrists. Bend your elbows straight back so your arms are hugging your body the whole way down. Uncurl your toes. Roll your shoulders. Inhale, lift your chest. Baby cobra. Exhale, fold. Curl your toes. Press yourself back up to your modified plank. And then your down dog. Inhale, we're coming to the front of the mat in a forward fold. Shake your head yes, shake your head no. Bend your knees if your hamstrings are tight. Inhale for their half lift. Lengthen your spine, roll your shoulders back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep your arms. Exhale, hands to heart center. Maybe close your eyes. Right, moving on to a full sun A, but do the modifications that work best for you. Inhale, sweep your arms. Exhale, fold over your legs. Inhale for your half lift, lengthening your spine. Exhale, plant your palms. Step yourself back either to your tabletop or your down dog. Inhale, shift your weight forward. This is where you'll stay in your high plank, pressing back through your heels, pressing out of your shoulders. So you don't want to be hanging in those shoulders. You don't want your tush up here or down here because that's going to strain your low back. So press back through your heels if you're in your high plank. Remember, you can drop your knees for modified version. From high plank, shift your weight forward so your shoulders go over your wrist. You come up onto your toes, and you can practice just doing this motion. Totally fine. And then we're going to bend the elbows straight back, come all the way down to the mat, uncurl the toes. Inhale for your back bend, baby cobra. Exhale, fold, curl your toes, power yourself up, back to down dog. Inhale to the front of the mat, forward fold. Exhale here, release any tension. Inhale for your half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep your arms. Exhale, hands to heart center. So just take a moment here, mountain pose. Done a couple of rounds of sun A. We'll start adding on with sun B. So remember your modifications. You can always do a modified plank. Tabletop, hands and knee pose is always there for you instead of down dog. So just listen to your body and do what is best for you. Inhaling, sweeping your arms. This time as you exhale, sit back into chair pose. So just like you're sitting back into a chair, Your hips go back. Your weight is gonna be in your heels. So you wanna be able to look down and see your toes. So if you look down and see your toes, pick them up, wiggle them, shift your hips back. Another thing you wanna be careful about is your low back. So when you sit into your chair, you wanna make sure you're not overarching in that low back just to get your chest up and forward. So you wanna tuck your tailbone a little bit, point it down toward the mat, squeeze your belly button in, and find length all the way down through your spine. So this is chair pose. Your biceps can be by your ears, hands on your hips, heart center, lots of options depending on where you are. As you exhale, fold over your legs. Your inhale takes you up to a half lift. Your exhale, you plant your palms, you step your feet back either to a plank or modified plank. So you're here in your modified, or your full plank or your modified plank. And then we'll move through that tricep push-up. So inhale, shift your weight forward. Exhale, come all the way down. Inhale for your half lift. Exhale, curl your toes. You can come to hands and knees. You can stay right here. Or curl your toes, power yourself up to your plank, and your down dog. On your next inhale, your right leg is gonna go up to the sky. So this is three-legged dog. Inhale, the right leg rises. So you either wanna point your foot or flex your foot. You don't want that foot just hanging there. So keep it active. Exhale, bring it through to your hands. Your right toes are pointing toward the front of the mat. You want to press back through your back leg and then pivot that back heel down. So notice your back toes are at about a 45-degree angle. And then you're going to inhale, come up. We're moving to Warrior 1, Virabhadrasana 1. One thing to keep in mind about Warrior 1 is you want your hips pointing to the front of the mat. So I like to have people take their hands to their hips and notice where their elbows are pointing. So if they're pointing kind of out at an angle, you want to rotate your front hip back so your elbows are pointing directly out to this side. You also want to think about your feet not being on a balance beam, right? So you don't want them straight lined up in Warrior 1. You want to think about maybe having them on skis, so water, maybe snow skis. I used to say railroad tracks, but that's a little too wide. So just enough space, depending on your hips, to be able to rotate your front hip back and to have them face toward the front of the mat. Warrior 1. And just notice if you do that, it might pull you out of that front lunge. So you might be here, and that's okay. Or your knee is over your ankle. You just don't want it forward of your ankle. Relax your shoulders. As you exhale, your fingertips come down to the mat. Your back heel pops up. So you're balancing on the ball of your back foot. Plant your palms. Your front foot goes to meet the back. And you're in your plank or your modified plank. And then shift your weight forward, coming all the way down. Inhaling, opening your heart. Exhale, fold, curl your toes, back to hands and knees, or all the way up to down dog. Next inhale, the left leg will go up. So either point your toe or flex your foot. Just keep that lifted leg active. Exhale, bring it through to your hands. Plant your foot. Left toes are pointing to the front of the mat. And then pivot the back foot down so it's at that 90-degree angle. 45-degree angle. And then coming up. So again, taking the hands to your hips. Seeing where those elbows are pointing. And then pull your front hip back a little bit. Kind of like you might have a seat belt pulling on that hip. Might have to walk your front foot over to the side a little bit or your back foot over to the side. You just want to make space for your hips so they point towards the front of the mat. Your biceps are up by your ears, but you're relaxing your shoulders down. You're keeping the fingertips strong for warrior one. Noticing if you can see at least your front two toes, so your big toe and your second toe. If not, you're going to engage the inner thigh and pull that knee out just a little bit more. Next, exhale, fold over your front leg, pop your back heel up, your front foot goes to meet your back. You come to your plank or your modified plank, and then you shift your weight forward. You can come halfway down if you've practiced a lot, and then to your up dog. You just want to be very careful of your shoulders here. Back to your down dog. Stepping to the front of the mat. Your inhale takes you to a half lift. Your exhale folds. Your inhale sweeps you all the way up and back into chair. Go ahead, take a couple of breaths. And then exhale, shake it out. Bring your hands to heart center. Roll your shoulders. We'll move through one more round of our sun B. Inhale, sweep your arms. Exhale, sit back into your chair. Inhale here, exhale, fold. Half lift on your inhale, then plant your palms. Step yourself back to your plank. Drop your knees if you need to. Move through your back bend. We'll all meet in either tabletop or down dog. Right leg rises on an inhale. Exhale, bring it through to your hands. Pivot your back heel down. Face those hips to the front of the mat. Warrior one, relax your shoulders. Exhale, fold, plant your palms, pop your back heel. Front foot goes to meet the back. You'll move through your vinyasa. Meeting in down dog. Inhale, left leg rises. Exhale, bring it through to your hands. Pivot your back heel down. Inhale up for warrior one. Exhale, plant your palms. Front foot goes to meet the back. You're in your plank. You move through. And then we'll all meet in down dog. And then at the front of the mat, inhale for a half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep your arms. Exhale, back to chair. And then straighten your legs. Bring your hands to heart center. Great job. You got through Sun A and Sun B. I hope you enjoyed the practice. We'll see you soon.